You know who's still around?
The Knicks.
The New York Knickerbockers are still around.
Still alive.
Still alive. Still alive.
Like Prozac.
You know, it's kind of funny. It was a simple equation last night. So simple, even my buddy Doug, who takes in this program quite a bit, sitting around a poker table watching this game, he's like, man, must win for the Knicks. Got to have it.
Thanks, Doug.
I'm like, okay. He's like, you know, if they win, they have a chance. I'm like, that's what he said. If they win, they got a chance. And we were all like, of course, the whole poker table just heaped abuse on him. Like, so if they lose, they have no chance, right?
It's over, right?
It's like,
no chance.
When you're eliminated from contention, you have no chance.
So, Doug, if they score more points.
But what my buddy Doug was saying.
What happened was.
What he was saying, even though he says he could call in any time to give us such great advice. Doug, you know the number. Take Murph's spot.
844-204-RICH.
844-204-RICH. Number.
Still alive.
That's right.
They hit him with 5 shots and he's still alive.
Well, I mean, more than 5 shots.
Well, I mean, Haliburton only took 7.
That's true.
So,
well, in all honesty here, what Doug was saying was if the Knicks win this game, then they go to Game 6 in Indiana, and the pressure's all on Indiana, even though they could still lose and have a Game 7. But the pressure is like you don't want to go back there for Game 7. Even Charles Barkley said last night in the post-game show on TNT is they need to win Game 6 because if they come back, they're going to get their asses beat again, essentially is what he said. Mm-hmm. And, never know. But what the Knicks did was hold Indiana to less than 100 points, which is a massive feat.
Yep.
Certainly since, the number of times the Knicks make a big shot in this series and then Indiana instantly inbounds the ball and within 5 seconds have already gotten the ball down the court and in the hoop to retort and respond. I've lost track. But last night, it was Jalen Brunson after 48 hours of hearing how great Tyrese Haliburton is, including on this program here. I mean, I handed Haliburton all his flowers, and the coaches saying, Rick Carlisle saying they're going to name a new stat after him one day about the number of points and rebounds and assists one has in a turnoverless game. We'll call that, I guess, pulling a Haliburton.
Haliburton.
Brunson responded. 32 points. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Big first quarter. Once again, watched the bench perform well while he sat. And some of the big moments he had at the end of the game were the stuff of New York Knicks playoff legend. Honestly, I don't throw those words around cavalierly. But if I had to name my top 5 Knicks, I've done this multiple times. I've been a New York Knicks fan since I can remember. The Michael Ray Richardson, Rory Sparrow days. Red Holtzman was still the coach at the end of his tenure there in Madison Square Garden. Grew up listening to Marv Albert on the radio. I mean, yes. I have bona fides here on this subject matter. Top 5 Knicks of all time. Bernard King's number 1. Patrick Ewing's number 2. Number 3 is Walt Clyde Frazier, just because I've grown up hearing about him and watching him, and he's just one of my favorite players and personalities. Number 4 is Jalen Brunson. Number 5, as you know, him being thrown out of Madison Square Garden was it for me. And he is Jim Jackson's latest guest on the Jim Jackson Show podcast, Charles Oakley. But Brunson's number 4 on the list. And the reason why I'm mentioning all of this is not because Brunson's play and his energy and his essence, his everything about him pulled me back in from my Dolan wormhole. But last night, Jalen Brunson became the 4th Knick in the organization's lush history to have a 30-point game on 65% or better shooting in an elimination playoff contest. 4th Knick, 30-plus points on 65% or better shooting from the floor in an elimination game. The other 3 Knicks are the ones above him on my top 5 list. Walt Clyde Frazier, Bernard King, Patrick Ewing.
That's a good list.
He has entered the Pantheon. Now, one way to go and ensconce himself in the Pantheon. And by the way, Pantheon ensconcement is a great Pink Floyd album.
Yeah, I love the solo riff on that one. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
you got to be it helps to be on other things, and if you need to know about that, just read today's New York Times
responsibly.
But long story short, the way to ensconce is to go to Indianapolis, win Game 6, come back, do this again in Game 7, go to the NBA Finals. First time since 1999. But, tall order, it does help to have Karl-Anthony Towns. It does help to have Karl-Anthony Towns, who scored another 20-point game again. Did you see that stat that was on Turner last night?
Yeah, him and Brunson.
Yeah. Him and Brunson, 20-plus points
first five games
of playoff series. Yep. First teammates to do that since Shaq Kobe in the early aughts. Yep. So,
Rich, can I ask, I don't want to get ahead of this, but is there a chance if things go the way you want them to the Knicks that Cat could take that number 5 spot?
It's possible. You know how I feel about him.
Well, I was going to bring up, do you think Cat is a better player than Patrick Ewing?
Oh, come on now.
I think it's without question.
Okay. That's hot. I'll give you the floor to keep on burning.
He's the best shooting big man ever. Cat is. His outside shooting, I think, differentiates, and if you look at the stats.
What about Ewing's defense, though? See, that's the thing.
Ewing's defense, Cat has a foul problem, obviously.
Oh, my God. Did you see Barkley after the game last night?
They were really ripping him.
He basically said, why do you commit so many dumb fouls?
God only knows.
They also said it during the broadcast, too.
And he picked up his 4th foul in the middle of the 3rd quarter last night.
For no reason.
The Pacers were in the bonus, and Mitchell Robinson allowed them to hack a Mitch, and then the Knicks watched their 20-point lead go down to 10. They came up with a 12-0 run in response towards the end of the quarter, thanks to, and I can say these things based on who I am, Landry Shamet and his 5-head. Okay? And he's balling out.
Yeah, we said that yesterday.
And some of his defense was important. Mm-hmm. And still, with even all of that, I'm sweating out a 16-point lead with 5 minutes to go and 4 minutes to go. I'm counting it down like it's the ball dropping on Times Square.
It was 14 with 2.5, and you're like,
here we go again. Over? And that's the difference between the Knicks needing to go to Indianapolis to win to force a Game 7, or they would be going to Indianapolis to close this thing out. And there was even that shot at the end of the first half where Haliburton heaved it up from 3/4 court. It hit the iron, popped up in the air, and I'm like, is that going to fall straight through again?
I thought the same thing.
Did you think the same thing? Because Cooper and I were sitting there, and as soon as we're watching it, we're like, is this guy...
You kind of held your breath for a moment.
And then it bounced away, and I'm like, why didn't that happen in Game 1? Had to go straight up in the air and straight down the chimney.
Thank God.
So, I've got PTSD. All Knicks fans do. And I know Chalamet does, too.
Chalamet.
And so... back to Indianapolis, this series goes. Karl-Anthony Towns had this to say afterwards.
He was cooking. That's what I saw. I saw him cooking. Just, when he's playing like that and he's hitting shots, obviously it energizes everyone. But you understand, especially when you're getting points at that kind of rate, you got to stop. You got to get some stops. And, you don't ever want to be trading 2s with 2s, 3s with 3s. You want to be able to get some stops while Cap is on that kind of burner. When he's on burner. So we did a great job of just executing, holding them to 23 points in the first quarter, something that we did not do well the last game. And again, it's a testament to these guys. After a tough last game, coming back to the drawing board and understanding the situation and playing with that desperation.
Yeah, I mean, in Brunson on defense. Stepped that up as well. Only 8 points, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds for Tyrese Haliburton. Still no turnovers. God doesn't turn the ball over.
He does not. But 7 shots and a chance in a game when you can close out. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, Benedict Mathurin was the one who was leading the way with 23 off the bench.
They can't have that.
So, I mean, the Knicks did what they had to do defensively. They did it all. Tyrese Haliburton says no reason to panic. Hit it.
We're a resilient group, We always want to respond when things don't go well. After a game like that, we understand what the stakes are, and we understand the conversation, what it will be around our group. But we're fine. We're fine. There's no need to panic or anything. It's a tough loss. We really, we got it to 10 a couple times. We cut it down, and we just weren't able to, get over that hump to get, enough stops to get back in the game. So, there's definitely room for us to improve. And I think the great part about this group is, and our staff is everybody's, addicted to film study and figuring out where we get better. And Coach Carlisle's a savant at that stuff. So, after a game like that, I know he's going to be all over the film. I'm going to be all over the film. We'll be talking a lot tomorrow. Us as a group, we'll all be talking, seeing where we can get better. And, we'll look at it all as a group and see where we can get better and, improve for Game 6.
No reason to panic. There you go. I'll tell you this, with all due respect to Indiana and its fans. A Game 7 in this series is exactly the way TNT should be sent out in its lush history of broadcasting NBA games on a Monday night.
Yeah.
That's the way it should go. But I'm sure Pacers fans would say, screw that. We're going to go to Oklahoma City. That's where we're going to go.
It just hit me, though, in the
pregame
pregame where it was like, wow, this could be the end
I know.
of TNT.
And that could be Saturday night, which is what Game 6 is, or Monday night, Game 7, where we go into it knowing this is the end, my only friend, and a Game 7 of a series that, I think would be wonderful and deserving of a Game 7.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Hey, man, that's the way that's the way it felt in Indianapolis after, Game 4. But there is more than Dumb and Dumber, too, man. Go to Indy, play like you did in Game 3, come back to New York, play like you did in Game 5. Move to Oklahoma City and say hello to your old buddy Hartenstein and send your regards. And bring the free throw merchant to Madison Square. That would be great. Don't know.
We'll see.
Tall order.
I'm loving it.
Nordberg. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.